Konnichiwa. Minasan, genki desu ka? Welcome once again, everyone, to another episode of The Road to Japan. My name is Nico. I will be your host as usual. And right at the top, I am going to mention that this is now in Technicolor. Okay, it's not really in Technicolor, but what we are, basically what I'm getting at here is that this episode will be the first one that actually is also on video. So this is why I've been away for a couple weeks. I decided finally to bring the show to YouTube. It just seemed like the natural course of action. Honestly, I think I will reach a much larger audience. There seem to be a lot of people on YouTube, both watching and excuse me. You're just gonna have to bear with me here as I'm adjusting the mic because I don't want to completely cover my face here. Those of you listening at home in your cars, just basically listening to the podcast feed, you're not gonna really notice much different going on here, but those of you that choose to watch the show can now do so. So there is a channel, obviously on YouTube. It is called The Road to Japan. So that's all you got to look for on there. But you can also go to the roadtojapan.com/YouTube and you will find all the videos there. That's how I've set it up. And actually, kind of unintentionally, I did a little, like a slight makeover to the website as a whole. I was happy with where it was at the time when I originally started it up, but I don't know. I felt that it needed a little something different. So with this whole YouTube thing going on, I decided to just kind of look into maybe revamping the website a little bit. So there have been some visual changes. You can always go to the roadtojapan.com to check that out. I'm trying to make it sort of like a hub, so that everything that you would need to check out in accordance with the show, you can just go to the website to do that. So I've obviously added the YouTube channel to that, so you can just go to, as I said, the roadtojapan.com/YouTube, and you can find all the videos there. I spent the last week and a half basically getting I wanted to get all the audio episodes up there first before actually doing any video content, mainly because I'm just kind of anal and I want to have everything in order. I did separate them. I put them in a playlist for just the audio only episodes. And excuse me, I'm running out of breath already. But I put them on a playlist, and then the video content will have its own playlist. So if you so choose, you can go to youtube.com and subscribe to the channel if you want. I am actually working out a idea for a series of videos, because now that I can do things on camera as well, and I mean I didn't buy any new equipment. I actually already had this stuff lying around because there were other things that I had wanted to do years ago involving video, and I really just never got that motivated to do it. But as I've said in the past, I don't like my money going to waste. So I had this camera, this equipment for the camera and stuff, and I didn't want it just lying around. So I figured I'd try doing some stuff. So what I'm going to eventually start doing, probably within the next few weeks, maybe month, it depends on how long it takes to get set up, is I want to start a series of videos called Teach Learn. That's what I'm going to name it. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to essentially simultaneously teach and learn kanji. Because I mentioned a couple episodes ago that I wanted to start getting into the kanji aspect of the language. Now, of course, I have other areas I definitely need to work on, my grammar, my vocabulary, and so on. But I figure learning kanji will still be a real step up, in learning the language, especially with reading and writing. So what I want to do is I want to basically teach a kanji per episode. I haven't exactly figured out how exactly I want to go about it, as far as if I just want to show the kanji or write out the kanji. I'd probably have to get like a dry erase board or something to work that out. But I also am hoping that in doing this, I will also be building up my own kanji knowledge, and I'm going to be taking this information out of a book, so it's not going to be me basically talking out of my ass like I have in the past. That was also part of the inspiration to do this, is because I go back and I listen to those old episodes, and I always cringe to the point of basically turning off the episode when I get to the Japan note, just because I am not really knowing what I'm talking about. As much as I wish I could sit here and be like, yeah, I'm, Mr. Japanese expert, and, wanting to basically know everything there is to know about the Japanese language, it's going to be a learning process, and I just have to constantly remind myself of that. So I figure if I'm taking material and teaching it, but it's coming out of a book, not one that I wrote or anything, then hopefully, there won't really be a lot of issues with it. So anyway, that's something you can keep an eye out for in the coming weeks and possibly months. Again, it depends on how soon I can get this all set up. So aside from that, as I mentioned, you can find this and all other information about the show on theroadtojapan.com. In addition to revamping the site, I also made it a little bit more social network friendly, I guess. So you'll see on the sidebar that there's a window for the Facebook page, for the Twitter account, and there are also buttons so that you can subscribe either through just a regular RSS feed, or there's also an iTunes button, because I know a lot of people like to subscribe to the show through iTunes. So you can find that there. It doesn't matter what page you're on, you'll always have that sidebar there available to check out whatever it is you want to check out. And again, I urge you to follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter or on YouTube. But those are going to be the areas where you're going to get updates. Now that I have video content coming out, you can be made aware, when a new video is available. And I mean, it just makes things easier if you're subscribed. So, in addition to that, I don't think it really is going to matter to me if there are likes on videos. Like, I know that seems to be a big deal in the YouTube community, is that they want people to like their videos and whatnot. I don't know if that really does anything aside from maybe bragging rights. I don't know. I'm still like, I kind of avoided YouTube for a very long time, because I just, like, when I watch videos on there, I just see like some of the worst people in those comment sections. So I'm a little I don't know, apprehensive about what could end up happening with me putting out video content. But hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully I will only attract the attention of people that are actually interested in this content. And I realize that these videos, because they're still going to be basically video recordings of my actual podcast episodes, they're going to be lengthy. So, I anticipate that I will get comments of people saying like, your videos are too long and the blah, blah, blah. Why isn't it like 10 minutes or less or something like that? And that's because this is an actual podcast episode. So, podcasts can pretty much be any length. I think I mentioned before when I did my old geek show that I had one episode that went almost 5 hours long. It took I think 3 different sittings to actually record all the content, and then it took like another day and a half just to cobble it all together into an episode. But I don't anticipate doing that anymore with the Road to Japan. I honestly just don't think I have that much to talk about in one episode. So anyway, so there you go. There's YouTube. Once again, roadtojapan.com/YouTube if you want to just check out all the videos in one spot. Otherwise, you can just subscribe to the channel on YouTube, however you choose to go about it. But I also want to urge that if you are listening to this on the website and you have iTunes, please subscribe to the show. And also leave a review if you're so inclined. I do know, like I said, I don't know how the YouTube thing works, but I do know that leaving a review on iTunes, especially positive ones, and I'm not saying you have to leave a positive one. If you think my show sucks, then go ahead and rate it 1 star. That's perfectly fine. I am willing to accept that I'm not, some perfect podcaster, but just leave a review, because the reviews will bring the attention of more people to the show. So that's really all I'm looking for, is just reaching a larger audience. That's why I'm doing all of this, is just because I eventually want to reach that group of people that I think might get something out of the show. So moving along, finally here, after I've gone on for 10 minutes already, I also did, speaking of my old show, I did archive it on the website. You can't download it directly from the Road to Japan, but what I did is I uploaded the episodes to archive.org. So that's basically like the permanent home of that show. It's called Face Value. That's what that's the old geek show I used to do. So you can go to, I think the URL I made is the roadtojapan.com/facevalue. And you can find links there to download the episodes individually if you choose, or you can, if you know your way with torrents, you can just download a torrent of the whole package and just get all the episodes at once. I will warn you that show was very much a different state of mind for me, so there was a lot of cursing and foul language and not like extremely vulgar content, but yeah, I definitely shared the more foul-mouthed side of me when I did that show. So just keep that in mind. If you're gonna have like kids around, and or if you're listening at work, it's probably not the show to listen to during those kind of times. And I mean, be also aware that show was. That show's going on 2 years old now, so some of the content in there is kind of dated, because at the time I was talking about current events in the world of nerdery. So I don't even know if it's really anything that anyone would be interested in, but I figured I should do something with it. So I just decided to archive it and just leave it at that. I'm not going to really pimp it or anything after talking about it here. So, check it out if you want. roadtojapan.com/face value. Moving on, I have made a purchase, which is also going to pertain to the video content. It's not going to be like a series or anything. It'll probably be just a one-shot video. But I purchased what is called a Hunko. Now, I'm not going to go into detail talking about it here on the episode because it's still in the process of being made. And then once it's made, obviously it has to ship to me and all that. So once I have it, I will do a video about my Hunko, which in short is it's like a stamp, and the purpose of it is that Japanese people use it to basically like sign official documents. So when you're doing anything official over there, like for example opening a bank account, most institutions will require a Hunko for your signature. I'm not going to pretend to know all the reasoning behind it. This is just based on the research that I've done, and and in preparation for putting the show on YouTube, I did watch a lot of videos. I mean, to be honest, I'll talk about it a little bit later in the show, but I've been bored. I've been really bored with how this semester has gone so far, and this is just what I've been doing with that boredom, is just putting it to use, just trying to stay productive and, not go crazy, basically. So, in preparation for getting the show on YouTube, I've also been just kind of quote unquote researching and just kind of seeing what other people are doing. I noticed that especially a lot of the present day YouTubers like to do those kind of quick cuts for the sake of humor and stuff. I'm not going to do that. At least for now, it looks like it's way too much effort, and I kind of hate the quick cuts. It sort of annoys me because it makes the whatever they're saying kind of sound unnatural, which is slightly ironic to say because I sort of do that in the audio version of the show. I basically use a feature when I'm editing called truncate silence, I should say, which basically just looks for certain segments of nothing coming out of my mouth, and then it cuts it out. So it does make the podcast sort of sound a little bit more, I don't know, quick cutty. I don't know. You can definitely see the difference if you watch the YouTube video, because I'm not going to do a lot of editing as far as the main chunk of the content, so like what you're watching now, for example. And you can notice the difference when if you're listening to the podcast episode and watching the same episode on YouTube, then you'll definitely see the difference. So anyway, I'm gonna do a video about the Hunko when it comes in. I don't know when it's supposed to arrive. I have no idea what goes into making one of these. So it could end up being a week, 2 weeks, could end up being a month. I have no idea. But whenever it shows up, that's when I will do the video about it. One other thing that I have ordered is business cards, which isn't really going to pertain, have much relevance to a lot of you watching or listening to the show. However, one of the reasons that I decided to get business cards is so that I can kind of save myself explanation in regards to if occasionally conversations do end up moving towards me talking about the show at times, because I do want people to know about it. And if we happen to be talking about things like goals and especially college, that's the main goal on my plate right now. So I might mention the show. So what I want to do is I just want to have business cards on me that have all the information, the website address, who I am, and have a little picture of the logo, so that they know what to look for, and then they can just take that and do whatever they want with it. If they want to go to the website, and then they'll see that they can subscribe to iTunes, they'll see the YouTube link, so on and so forth, and then that way it saves me having to explain it over and over and over again. Also, there are times when I have to, I should say, there are times when I end up talking about things that I have discussed on my show already, and sometimes I wish I could just hand them a business card and say, hey, here you go to this website and check out episode whatever. Like as I mentioned, I still always get asked about my name. Just the other day, one of my coworkers just came right up to me and said, "What's your ethnicity? What race are you?" And I, just kind of looked at him and I said, "Well, I'm white. I'm Caucasian." And then it's almost like they want further explanation beyond that. And I realized that, again, like I mentioned when I talked about my name in a previous episode, that, I was expecting this. So now, at least from now on, I can just kind of hand him a business card, and I can just maybe on the back of it just write, look for episode 6, which is the episode in which I talked about my name, and then they can get the full explanation. They don't have to hear it from me, and they can listen at their own pace. So the other reason that I got business cards is because in probably, what's the date? Date's the 22nd. So in probably like around 7-8 weeks, there's going to be an event happening here, which is actually the event that brought me to Wisconsin for the first time many years ago. It's more something from my nerd days, but it is... It's called the Midwest Gaming Classic. A lot of us call it MGC for short. And it's I met a lot of my friends at that event, especially the friends I have in Wisconsin. So, even though I don't really do a lot of the more nerdy stuff these days because I'm more busy with school, I still love going to this event because it's a great time to, at the very least, catch up with people, and see how things have been going. And now that I'm doing the show, I can kind of do a little bit of promotion. I'm not talking like I'm gonna walk around with a banner or a T-shirt or something like that saying, watch or listen to my show, but there are people that are of college age that attend here. So if I end up talking to them, I can, be like, here's a card. If you're interested, check out the show. So that's going to be happening, I think, I don't know. I think it's like mid to late April. So every episode until then, I'll just, make a quick mention that MGC is coming up. And chances are if you're, I'm not saying, go to this event just to see me, because there's plenty of really awesome stuff that goes on there. If you're into primarily like video games, this is definitely something you'd want to check out. You can actually go on YouTube and check out, there are actually old videos that I participated in myself a few years back, just having to do with the various things that happen at MGC. It's just a great, it's a great time. It happens over Saturday and Sunday, so you can get, I think you can get tickets, at least for the time being. You can still purchase a weekend pass for, I think, $40, which is not bad. That covers the whole day. And it's great. It happens at the Brookfield Sheraton, which is located in Brookfield, Wisconsin. It's if you're interested in modern or old video games, this is the place to go, because you'll find everything there. Also, if you're into pinball, because they have a huge pinball room with all kinds of machines, probably any any of the famous ones you can think of will likely be there. And a lot of these machines are available for purchase as well. So if you're some sort of collector, this would definitely be the place to check out. So anyway, yeah, that's MGC. If you want to, if you're going to be going and you want to meet up, hang out, whatever, do let me know. Email at theroadtojapan.com, or hit up the Twitter account at theroadtojapan, or let me know on the Facebook page. Doesn't really matter. Hell, you can even tell me on YouTube now. But yeah, if you're gonna happen to be in the Wisconsin area during MGC, let me know. That would be really awesome to hang out with audience members. I know at least one of the people listening to the show will be there. So, Revy, I'll be looking for you, man. So let's move along here. Actually, I'm doing pretty good on time. I thought this was gonna be a much longer episode. So, who knows? I guess we'll just keep trucking along here. So, just one thing that kind of caught my attention. Trying to find a good position for this mic. So, those of you listening at home on the podcast, I apologize for these kind of weird breaks, but I have to try and look pretty now for a camera. I still feel I have kind of more of a face made for radio, but that's just my personal opinion. But anyway, I'm trying to put myself out there. So yeah, bear with me as I'm trying to figure out how best to position this mic. Anyway, so one thing I've noticed over the last, I don't know, a couple weeks, I guess, since the last episode was done, is that it kind of falls in line with something I talked about a little while ago, talking about impatience with people. And one thing I will be interested to find out is if in Japan people are the same way. And I'll give you a couple examples. So I was, I do my grocery shopping just like everybody else does, and I, go to a place to go do that. And what I notice is that, because I like to use, if they're available, I like to use the self-checkout areas, because I know how to use those, and I don't really have any trouble with them usually, and I don't have to bother someone else to deal with, checking out my groceries. I know some people like to joke that that's what the people are paid for, and why should you have to bag your own groceries and everything. And it's like, I'm kind of more independent, so I prefer to, if I can, I just do things myself. So anyway, I'm at the self-checkout doing my thing, checking out my groceries, and it's just this just might be a thing for me that is kind of a pet peeve, is when you're, especially when you're at a self checkout. It might be a little different when you're at a regular cashier with someone actually taking care of your getting your groceries checked out, but like when you're at a self checkout, at least for me, when I'm like, say I'm the one waiting for the next one to open up, I will stand there and wait until I spot one with somebody about to leave, and then I wait until they're actually gone. Now, I don't mean like left the building or anything. I just mean have at least stepped away from the self-checkout machine. And 2 times in the last week when I've gone to go pick something up, I've had people they'll butt up right against me as I'm still like bagging my groceries. It's like all they're waiting for is for me to have paid, and then they're already like just kind of shoving their crap in next to me, and I'm like, whoa, hey man, come on, can't you at least wait like 10 seconds for me to finish bagging my groceries and at least getting the hell out of your way? It just drives me crazy when people do that. It happened at at Best Buy actually when I was over there picking something up, which I will talk about in a moment. But I was there, and I was actually at a regular, I don't know, cashier aisle or whatever. So the dude was checking me out and everything, and I paid my money, and I was waiting for him to hand me the receipt, and the person behind me just walks right up next to me, and they're just putting their crap on the counter. I'm like, dude, why can't you wait? Why can't you wait just 5 seconds for me to get my stuff and leave? At least be on my way out the door. It just drives me crazy when people do that. And I don't know. I mean, is this something that's just me? Is it only something that I have a problem with, or I mean, do other people have problems with this? I guess you can let me know now. Now I have a comments section for the show, so I guess if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave something in the comments below, above, to the side. I don't know, wherever the hell they go. But yeah, it just drives me crazy. So that's definitely something I'm going to be looking for, when the day comes that I go to Japan. It's just I'm curious if Japanese people are the same way. Now I realize that there are going to be probably at least a handful of people in any group that's going to be like that. And it may not even be like a person that does that all the time. It could just be that situation, like they're just really in a hurry, they're running late for something, so they might be rushing. And I mean, I guess it's just with me, even when I'm in that situation, I just consider it polite, to wait until they leave, to not be shoving my crap, and right next to them. It's I don't know, it just seems rude to me. But anyway, that's just kind of a little gripe I've had over the last couple of weeks. And so also something I also have noticed, again, this is another grievance with my school in particular, is that they once again don't really seem to like making themselves as available to all their students as possible. And so the little story behind this is that I just realized that my camera's not plugged in. Oops. Okay. Hopefully that battery's gonna last. Anyway. So I have my tuition payments, right? Because I'm doing the student loan deal, but those things usually pay out a few weeks after the semester started, and I didn't realize I needed to file for this year, so mine's a little bit later. But anyway, while you're waiting for those student loan payments to come through, you still have to pay out of pocket. And then if you pay the entire tuition, then you just get a refund when that student loan comes through. So anyway, I still had to go in and make my payment, and you have to make a payment every month during the semester. They basically divide your tuition into four payments, and then you go in, you make a payment, and that's it. You're good to go until the next month. But the weird thing is that these payments are usually due on a Thursday, and I don't get paid on Thursdays. I get paid on Fridays, like most people do. Most people do, which already doesn't make sense to me. But thankfully, they don't bother with late charges or anything like that, unless you're going like, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. If it's just a day or two, it's not going to be a big deal. So I was waiting for Friday to roll around so I could get my paycheck and then go in and give them money. And I get off work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the closest campus to me is roughly 15-20 minute drive. which is not bad at all. That's actually pretty good, and it's on my way home, which is also nice. So I figured I'll just get my pay, and then I'll on my way home I'll stop at the campus and go make my tuition payment, and then everything will be happy and good to go. But then I get there, and it seems that on Fridays the cashier, which is where you go to make these payments, closes at 4 o'clock. Why would you do that? I don't get that. And what's even more strange is that it's not even a set amount of hours per every day. They have different hours depending on the day of the week, which I guess maybe pertains to, maybe they calculate when they have more students in the building or something, and so on those days maybe then the cashier's open later. I don't know how it works, but it's just really frustrating because it's still something I have to go out of my way to do. I wish I could just make the payment online, but apparently the only option to pay online is to pay the whole damn thing, which if I could pay the whole damn thing, I wouldn't have bothered making a payment plan in the first place. So that's stupid. But it just really irritates me that they only seem to this school only seems to think that their students are always available in the mornings to do whatever they need to do. Whether it's going to classes or making their payments or taking care of any administrative stuff, they just think that the students don't have anything to do, that they're just completely able to commit to doing everything with the school. And I really wish I could somehow get through to them that there are people out there. I mean, this is a tech college, for crying out loud. It's a tech college that is intended for people like me in my age group, give or take 10 years, that also have full-time jobs. Like, I've already had a career for 8 years. So, I work a Monday through Friday schedule, and I work set hours during the day. Now, I realize that, sure, some people, work like a nighttime schedule. But at the same time, those people that work nighttime schedules might also have other things that keep them from being able to take care of business in the mornings. And I'm not talking about myself necessarily, because I'm not really one of those people. It's just work and school for me. But I do know that there are other people out there that have children. Some people might even have more than one job, and maybe those jobs are across town from one another. So even though they might have time in between those jobs, maybe it's spent driving or something, and then maybe there's also time that they got to be doing homework and stuff. So it just is really irritating when they can't take that into account, that their student demographic is more than just like high school graduates that aren't really doing anything else, maybe working like a part-time job on the weekends. Like, that's what they're assuming, is that everyone going there is just a full-time student during the week and a part-time worker on the weekends, because they're they can't be open on the weekends when it would actually be most convenient for me to go, because then I am free the entire day. And I mean, at least for me, this will be irrelevant this fall, because then I'll have to switch back to my night schedule, and then my mornings will be open, and I'll be at campus already taking classes and stuff, so then I can just go and make my payments. But it's just, I don't know, it just really bugs me that this is how the tech college system works. Now, I don't know how other colleges are. Maybe they're better, maybe they're worse. I don't know. I guess you can let me know. Let me know what the situation is at your school. Again, Twitter, email at theroadtojapan.com. So let me know. I mean, that's part of the reason that I'm mentioning this, is I'm curious if this is a thing just at my school, or if this is a thing at a lot of schools? And if so, like, why haven't they bothered to make a change about it? It just seems really, really weird to me. And then unfortunately, I'm gonna mention one more grievance about my school, which this really, really cheesed me. I mean, I've gotten over it, but it was still just something kind of worth mentioning. Like, I don't know how many fellow MATC students may end up checking out the show, especially now that I am on YouTube. But the Twitter account for my school put up a tweet, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, and it was saying that accounting students were going to be volunteering their time, basically as part of their accounting program. They were volunteering their time to help fellow students out with their taxes, and they were doing it free of charge. Which, of course, to any student that's not really getting a lot for taxes, or getting a lot for pay in general, don't have like a large income coming in because they again are only maybe working like part-time on the weekends. That's a big deal, because the fees that can come with even just purchasing software to do it for you, or having someone else do it for you, like, say like H&R Block, for example, that can be kind of spendy, and they're wanting to make every dollar count. So I can see how this would be very enticing to a lot of college students, is to have your taxes done. It helps the accounting students because it's part of their program, and then it also helps those students that they're helping with their taxes, because it helps them save money in filing, and then it hopefully will allow a bit of relief from not having to worry about taxes and stuff. So what am I getting at with this? Well, I saw the tweet, and I saw that these sessions were happening like twice a week at 2 different campuses. One of the campuses is the one I take my class at. Unfortunately, like, only one of the sessions was within my schedule, because the other one was like on Thursdays from like 4 to 7 o'clock in the evening. And as I mentioned, I get off work at 4, and this campus, while it is one of the campuses I take my classes at, is across town. So it's at least a good 45-minute drive, if not an hour or more, depending on how traffic is. So obviously I kind of nixed the idea of going on Thursday. But the other day that they were doing it is Saturdays. And they do it Saturday mornings. And the Saturday session goes from 3 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Did I say 3 to 12? I meant 9 to 12. I don't know where the hell I got 3 from. But yeah, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So 3-hour session, kind of early in the morning, whatever. So I decided that, and that's all it said. It just said it was 9 to 12 at this campus, and it goes until, I don't know, sometime in April, right around whenever taxes are due. So yeah, and this is happening every Saturday. So I was just decided one Saturday that I was gonna head down there and get my taxes done. I figured that'd be awesome to save myself a little bit of money, and get my taxes all taken care of and have it all set. But what pissed me off is that I get down there, even on a Saturday, it's still a good 40 minutes driving down there. And I get down there, and there's already a large group of people, because I got there around, like, I don't know, 10 in the morning or something. I tried getting up early, but it's like, it's hard to get up early on a Saturday when that's one of your days that you can sleep in a little bit, because normally my day starts at 6 and can go as late as 11 o'clock. So I like to enjoy sleeping in. So anyway, I got there at 10 o'clock, no big deal, whatever. I figured still a couple hours left, even if I'm, waiting there towards the end, it'll still be productive to get my taxes done. But I get there and I see a big group of people there already. I'm like, well, no big deal, whatever. And I'm looking around to see if there's someone to talk to check in or put myself on some kind of list to, make myself available to do this. And it turns out that they only were helping the first 30 students, or first 30 people, I should say. I assume they are all students because only the students and faculty knew about this. And on top of only helping the first 30, those first 30 had to show up an hour before this thing started to register. So essentially, I wasted like my morning doing that because I obviously was well after the 30 registered because I showed up 2 hours before when they needed to show up. And then I drove across town for nothing. So you can imagine I was pretty furious about that. What was even more infuriating is when I got home later that day, I went back and read up on it again. And it turns out that the other campus mentions all this stuff. Mentions that, we're helping 30 students. You got to show up an hour and all that. It only mentioned it for that other campus, which just really pissed me off. I don't understand why they didn't put that for both campuses. Maybe they assume we're going to read all of it, even if it's a campus we can't go to. But I saw that it was our downtown campus, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not going there because I hate going downtown. But again, just like the hours of operation, the school assumes that everyone's going to take care of business downtown. It's like, why would I do that? Why would I want to go downtown? I hate going downtown. I hated going downtown in Portland. I hate going downtown in Milwaukee. That has not changed. So that was just a really infuriating morning, and that was actually just last Saturday that happened. But there is a silver lining to this, so to speak. So I decided I didn't want to waste my morning. And I just, I've always done my business in the past with H&R Block. So, they treat me well. Usually I file online, but because this year I have tax forms now because of my school and my tuition, I wanted to make sure that someone else was helping me with this to make sure I wasn't screwing up on anything. So I decided to go visit the local H&R Block in the area, and the nice thing is that when all was said and done, I'm actually getting my biggest return ever. And I don't know what necessarily factors into all of this, but I'm getting a really nice big return. And I'm trying to figure out what exactly to do with it, because usually my tax returns are usually, how shall I say, like unaccounted for money, or maybe money that I don't necessarily budget in. And what I mean by that is I basically make it my fun money. So it's not money that I pre-allocate towards something. Although in the last few years, because of, all the financial crap that's gone on, it usually ends up being pre-allocated because just some terrible thing usually ends up happening around that time. Like last year, I had a massive repair I had to get done on my car, and that ended up pretty much burning up my entire tax return as a result. So, the last couple of years have been the tax return has been devoted to things like that, so I haven't really been able to enjoy it. But this year, I don't know. I don't know if this year would be much different because I'm not probably going to do much fun stuff with it. I'm probably going to take half of it and put it into my account for my car payments, I thought about applying it just directly to the principal and knocking out a chunk of that principal, but I think I'm just gonna leave it in there, and then just not have to worry about making payments for a while. That way, if for some reason later down the road I need that money for something else that's a little bit more important, then I can just leave a month or two's worth of money in there for withdrawals, and then I can put that money towards something else. I think the only technically fun thing I'm going to get with it is actually having to do with the show and with this YouTube stuff. So what I'm going to probably get is like a lighting kit, because the bedroom behind me here is not really used. It's just kind of where I put like my miscellaneous crap, because I have everything out here in the living room. I have my desk, I have my bed right over there. This is kind of the one-stop shop in my apartment. Everything's here. So I figured I can put that bedroom to use, because I can kind of make it like a little YouTube studio. So again, I'm still figuring things out with that, trying to see what I can and can't do, and also trying to figure out exactly what kind of equipment I would need to buy. I probably need to get like a backdrop or something to put behind me. I'm looking into like getting lights, because like right now I'm just relying on the natural light coming through my blinds right now. And I mean, I'm sure it'll look fine. I'm not trying to be like super duper professional, but I want to put a little spin of quality on here. So those are things I'm exploring, and I'll probably put like a couple $100 out of my tax return towards getting that stuff. But other than that, it's just gonna probably just go into savings, and either get put towards tuition or it'll get put towards my car, because those are the only two things I'm really having to worry about. I mean, normally, under normal circumstances, yeah, I'd probably either just get saved for a rainy day, or I might blow it on, just something fun like a game or a movie, a set of movies, or I don't know. Actually, to be honest, if this were just fun money, it'd probably go towards upgrading my computer, my desktop, that is, because it's it's starting to show its years. But I mean, a new processor, a new video card would be really nice. But at the same time, I'm not planning on bringing my desktop with me to Japan. It's probably just going to be my laptop. So the desktop will either get sold, or depending on how I'm feeling, I might just give it away. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm not going to really worry too much about that. But anyway, I've gone on long enough about the taxes thing. So anyway, I'm just really thrilled about the fact that I'm getting a good chunk of return, and it's not going to have to go towards something I didn't really want to put it towards, like a car repair. Thankfully, my car is running okay. Fingers crossed it stays that way for a while. But yeah, I was in a really good mood, and on my way back, I went to Best Buy, as I had already mentioned earlier, with the guy getting all pushy with me and stuff. But what I was there to get was I finally joined the Keurig Club. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Keurig? I don't know how it goes. But you're probably familiar with what it is. It's these, it's a coffee machine. It basically does like a coffee on a per cup basis, and you get these fancy little things that you put in it, and it just makes coffee making easier. And I just didn't realize how much I actually really appreciate having one of these things. I mean, it's freaking awesome. It allows me to do more variety with my coffee purchases, because I just ended up getting like a box of like a variety pack, and now I get to try all these like different coffees and stuff. And what's really nice is that the preparation is almost nothing. It's literally just popping one in, turning it on, and then, a few minutes later you got a cup of coffee. So, I feel that's a lot better than the drip machine that I was using, which takes probably, I don't know, a good 10 minutes to get to get everything cleaned up and ready for the next pot to brew. But I'm starting to bore myself talking about this. But anyway, yeah, I bought a Keurig at Best Buy on my way home because I was feeling good and great, and I was like, all right, I got a little extra money here, and so I bought a Keurig. So there you go. So all this time talking, God, I'm already an hour. And I haven't mentioned anything going on with school, and that's because not a lot is going on with school right now. It's I'm still plugging away at my classes, like I've said before. My English teacher has pretty much disappeared. She has popped on to grade some of our discussion board deals, but last night I turned in my second paper that was due, and the first one that I turned in 2 weeks ago still has not been graded. So I have, if I look at my grades page for my account, I still see like 5 or 6 items that need to be graded. This is my English class, and I have no idea how I'm doing. All I can say is that what I do have graded so far is keeping me at 100%. As far as like I get full credit for everything that's been graded so far. I don't know how these papers are going to be because she hasn't graded them yet, and I still have 2 more before the class is over. Which where are we now? I guess we're about halfway through that class. Because it's 8 weeks total. It's been roughly a month. So yeah, we're at the halfway point in my English class. And like the reason I keep mentioning like her lack of presence with this is because teachers usually I'm gonna sit up straight here a little bit here. I hate being such a slouch. But when you're in a class and your teacher says, hey, you need to learn to do things on time, so you need to turn this assignment in on this day and the blah, blah, blah. I get that. I'm totally on board with it and everything. But the thing is that whenever I'm put into some kind of leadership position, which doesn't happen a lot, but I mean, when it does happen, I am always of the belief that people should lead by example. Meaning that, if say I turn in a paper and, if you tell me ahead of time that it's going to take 7 to 10 days to grade, that's fine. But that means to me that within 7 to 10 days, I will have a grade on that paper. It has been 14 days. Now today makes 15. And I've been checking all morning while I was getting all this set up, and still no grades. Nothing. And I just feel that's kind of a failure on the teacher's part. Like I at this point I don't care how many classes this teacher has. Like we are a class just like any students in a classroom, and I bet you I put $10 down, maybe even more, because I'm not really a gambling man, but I put money down saying that any papers that she has made due in her classroom sessions, she is likely graded and handed back to them already. I don't know why she's treating us any different. Because I like knowing where I stand. It really just drives me crazy when I can't, when I have things that are due, to at least within a few days be able to look and see, like, okay, here's how I did. And I mean, like with my paper writing, I have no idea how she grades papers. So now that I've turned in my second paper already, I don't even know if the first one was good. You know, if I had gotten proper feedback when I should have gotten proper feedback, which essentially would have just been any time before I turned in the second paper, then I could see what maybe I needed to work on, what I need to improve, what I could probably do without putting in the paper. And I don't know any of that. So I'm just kind of still doing my thing, writing my papers, and I don't know like what she thinks of them. And that just is really frustrating. So, I mean, here's the thing is, my school last semester began implementing these surveys of our classes. And my understanding is that this is so that students can evaluate their teachers and the class as a whole, to see what needs improvement. And over time, this will probably take several years, but over time these teachers will have like ratings. Now of course, there probably is discretion to be made as far as if they're getting rated by a student that just wasn't doing very well and getting a poor grade, and they're just being pissy about it and trying to take it out on the survey, then that's one thing. But I think this will eventually work like kind of like when you see reviews for products on Amazon. You'll see a wide array of different responses. So I think overall there'll be like a score, and then you can read individual reviews. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but I hope so eventually, because my survey for this class so far is not going to be a very positive one. The fact that she's not grading things when she says she's going to is really annoying. And like, if I had seen this ahead of time, like when I was registering for my English class, I would have picked a different instructor. I would have picked someone that's going to do things on time, which then means that I need to do things on time. Because at this point, I feel like I could just not do anything and just turn everything in at the last day, and then it wouldn't matter because she's going to wait until the last day to grade all of it. That's just something that really pisses me off. But anyway, I'm really griping about stuff I don't necessarily need to, but these are just the things that kind of frustrate me about going to the school. And again, I don't know if it's just my school, or maybe if it's just me as a student in particular, or if this is a thing that happens at all schools. I definitely seem to notice it more with the online curriculums, or at least the online classes, which makes me actually glad that I didn't go through the accelerated program, because again, while it would have been nice to finish this up a little bit earlier than what is standard, I think I just would have been frustrated the whole time, just with the fact that if this is how each class is going to be. And I guess I'll find out in a few weeks when I finish up the English class and then move on to the science class. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned for that. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to get more out of being in a classroom, face to face with a teacher, working along with my peers, as we all strive to succeed in the classes that we're doing. And speaking of success, I will move on to say say that I probably didn't do so hot on my first history test. Now, mind you, it's a 10-point score, so I mean it's not gonna break the grade. And on top of that, if if we don't do so hot on a test, the teacher does allow for extra credit, so I can probably just knock out a quick, I don't know, 3-page essay on something, and it'll bring my grade back up. But I know last semester I mentioned that I was doing the audio notes, and those did work really, really well. But I got so swept up in this YouTube thing that I don't want to say I got addicted, because I don't think that's the case. I mean, honestly, personally, I don't really believe in addiction. I think that's just a state of mind. And while there can be periods of addiction, well, actually, I don't really want to get into this. But basically, like, I did get kind of drawn into watching a lot of YouTube over the last couple weeks, just because I started finding content pertaining to moving to Japan, what to expect, people's experiences, and the various ways that you can get to Japan, which still is like just teaching English, but there are a variety of ways to go about becoming an English teacher over there. And actually, based on this research, I think my best bet might be to go through the JET program, which is what a lot of people end up doing. It's not like I'm, picking something out of my butt or whatever. It's something that a lot of graduates choose to do when they want to, when they decide that they want to teach English in Japan. The JET program is a very solid program, and from what I understand, it works through the Ministry of Education over in Japan. So it's actually kind of like a government job, which is nice. I mean, it's definitely something to put on your resume that you'll be happy that you did. I don't think it's like a permanent thing, as in like you can retire doing the JET program. I think it's intended to only be like a few years max, and then you move on to something else. I think for a lot of participants, it's intended as like just something kind of like a stepping stone. In that some people do it to see if they've got what it takes to teach, and then see if they got what it takes to teach English as a second language. I don't know that for sure. Everyone has their different reasons. For me, it'll probably be more like a stepping stone to essentially get my foot in the door working in Japan. Because I can't remember if I've mentioned this before or not, but when you go to work overseas, I'll just use Japan for an example because this is the only thing I know even a little bit on. When you're ready to go work overseas, the big factor in that, at least for Americans, I know Australians and I think Canadians, New Zealanders, they actually have a different type of visa, and the visa is kind of where a lot of this boils down to. So, like I said, for those other countries, a lot of them have what's called a working holiday visa, which I believe lasts anywhere from a year to 18 months. I think that can depend on the country, or maybe it's just a standard amount of time, but it's at least a year. And so all you need to do is apply for the working holiday visa, and then you can land a job and then go over and then work until your visa expires, and then you go back to your country and whatever. I don't know about renewal or anything like that because I haven't really bothered to look into it because I'm not from one of those countries. I have to look at one from my country, and what is required in America is the other thing. Excuse me. With those other countries, you also are not required to have a degree to teach English. And I don't know why that's the case, but for Americans, and as far as I can tell, it's just for Americans. Again, I don't know why we're singled out like that, but anyway, the requirement is that in order to get a working visa to work over in Japan, it has to be sponsored, and the sponsorship comes from the company that hires you. The thing is that these companies now require the bachelor's degree, and usually it's like I think it's a BA or a BS. A Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science. For what I'm doing, I'm looking to major in Japanese, so that's going to be a Bachelor's in Arts. So you have to get the degree, and then you have to get that sponsorship. So it can be a bit more of a process than like these other countries that just do the working holiday visa. And honestly, I don't really know where I was going with that. I think I just kind of sort of trailed off there. So I apologize. I am actually really hungry right now, because I didn't want to sit here, running out of breath all the time because I had a full stomach of food and all that. But yeah, I'm starting to get really hungry right now. So I'm gonna try and wrap this show up real quick here. So that's pretty much there's only one other thing that I wanted to mention, which is actually something I kind of was surprised by. I got an email the other day, and it was an invitation to join 2 honors societies. One is the National Technical Honors Society, and then the other is probably a little bit more well known. It's called Phi Theta Kappa, which is it's a society for honor students, and it's something I guess that's for students that are maintaining a 3.5 or higher grade point average in their program. And I think this only applies right now, or not right now, but I think these are directed towards 2-year degree students. And I've started researching this because it does cost money to join these groups. But I think it turns out that the National Technical Honor Society is actually directed at students that are in a like a technical program, so like a science degree, or in my case, they are still like my school never flipped the switch when I switched my major. So according to the school, they think that I'm doing both a liberal arts degree and my IT degree that I originally signed up for. For some reason, they didn't, switch off the IT degree. Someone did not uncheck the box saying that I'm not doing that curriculum anymore. So I still get emails from organizations and even faculty at the school saying like, hey, because you're doing IT, we wanted to let you know about this and blah, blah, blah. And I think that's where this Technical Honor Society thing came from. So I don't think I can actually join that because I'm not in the correct program to do so. But the Phi Theta Kappa is more for someone like me. So I don't, again, I haven't researched it a lot. But from what I can tell, it seems to be worthwhile. And I actually asked a few friends, on my social medias about what their thoughts were. What their thoughts were in regards to it, and they're telling me that it's though there's one of my friends actually is a member of Phi Theta Kappa, and she says that it was a good. It's definitely a good thing to put on a resume, and this is based on the research I've done so far. But you can get scholarship opportunities if you transfer to a 4-year college, and it basically just makes you known more, I guess, to universities. At least that's the impression that I'm getting from the research that I've been doing. I have no idea how much of that is fact. Again, I just got to research it. But I'm, at least since my friend is a part of it, and I totally trust her. She wouldn't steer me wrong. I think I'm probably going to join. I mean, it does cost a fee. I think it's like $80 to join Phi Theta Kappa. It's just a one-time membership fee, and then you're a member. And I mean, what harm can it do? I mean, being part of an honors organization, sure, yeah, all right. I know someone's gonna like that. So yeah, I just that just kind of came out of the blue. I was not expecting it. I didn't ask to get any information on it. I just was doing my thing, and I guess like right now I'm at a 3.875 GPA because of that B plus last year. If it wasn't for that, I'd have a 4.0, just a straight up 4.0 GPA, which would have been awesome. But if I just maintain A's from now on, maybe the occasional B, then that 3.875 will just go nowhere but up. I mean, I could get all B's at this point. I could still, well, actually no, it has to be a 3.5. So it'd have to be like B pluses at least. But anyway, I'm not looking for B pluses. I'm looking for A's. My goal is to get as many A's as possible, because I just want to, put in the hard work and earn that. So yeah, that's something I'm going to do. I'll probably be updating as I go along with that. I don't really know what much else there will be to say in regards to it, but yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. And if you're a member of Phi Theta Kappa and you want to kind of give me the spiel on it or the lowdown, do let me know. Email at theroadtojapan.com, or you can tweet at theroadtojapan on Twitter. I am starting to notice a couple followers on there, so thank you for following on Twitter. I promise there will be somewhat frequent tweets, especially now that I've got the YouTube thing going. So I'll be definitely posting links and stuff when new videos start going up, like this show, for example. And thankfully, this is all I gotta do. I was up till probably 3 o'clock last night getting the last of the audio episodes up on YouTube, which is mostly just waiting. I just have to wait for it to upload and process and all that, which I'll like now I have to spend the afternoon figuring out how the hell to get this video up on YouTube and have it not look like a big pile of crap. So anyway, I'm gonna call it good for the show. It's been almost an hour 20 already. Okay, so as always, I thank you for listening. You can check out www.theroadtojapan.com to find everything that you want to in regards to the show. Hopefully the YouTube thing you'll start to dig. If you're a podcast listener, nothing's going to really change. It'll still be the same audio episodes as normal. You just might hear more references to a camera that you can't see. But if you're always curious, you can go to theroadtojapan.com/YouTube and check it out for yourself. So anyway, I'm going to go make something to eat because I'm freaking starving here. And I might make a cup of coffee. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. So I am out of here. Minasan, gambate.